Google admits it could collect data in Chrome's Incognito mode. Uber shuts down alcohol delivery service Drizly. And Apple updated its U.S. App Store, allowing a link to third-party payments. It's Wednesday, January 17th, and this is Engadget News. When users open an Incognito browser on Chrome, they'll see a notification warning them that other people using their device won't be able to see their activity, but that their downloads, bookmarks, and reading items will still be saved. Now, Google has updated that disclaimer in Chrome's experimental Canary channel shortly after agreeing to settle a $5 billion lawsuit accusing it of tracking Incognito users. As first noticed by MS Power User, the company has tweaked the disclaimer in Canary to add language that says Incognito mode won't change how websites collect people's data. The publication spotted the updated warning in Canary on Android and Windows, and we can confirm that the same language appears in the version of Chrome for Mac. Google was hit with a lawsuit in 2020, accusing it of tracking users' activities even if they're on Incognito mode. The plaintiffs told the court that the company used tools like its analytics product, apps, and browser plugins to monitor users. They also argued that by tracking users on Incognito, Google was giving people the false belief that they could control the information they're willing to share. A Google spokesperson explained at the time that the mode could only hide a user's activity on the device they're using, but that their information could still be collected. That's not clearly communicated in the current disclaimer for the public version of Chrome, but it looks like that could change in the near future. Back in 2021, Uber purchased Drizly for $1.1 billion shortly after it reported that its food delivery segment kept its losses manageable during the pandemic. Axios reported that 3 years later, the company is shutting down the U.S.-based alcohol delivery service. A company spokesperson said the company has decided to close the business and to focus on its core Uber Eats strategy. Uber integrated Drizly's offerings into its Eats app, but the alcohol delivery service maintained a separate application of its own. It's unclear if Drizly's cybersecurity issues played a role in Uber's decision. Drizly previously confirmed a data breach in 2020 that exposed the information of 2.5 million customers. After Uber's acquisition, the Federal Trade Commission found that Drizly CEO James Corey Rellis was alerted about the company's security issues way back in 2018. The agency determined that the delivery service failed to implement the proper safeguards to protect its users, despite claiming it had done so, and that its poor security practices made the data breach possible. Either way, Drizly is gone, but Uber seems to intend to continue delivering alcohol to its customers. Apple is relaxing a key App Store rule that has long been a source of frustration to developers. The iPhone maker will allow U.S. developers to link to outside websites for in-app purchases, according to the company's updated developer guidelines. The change comes shortly after the United States Supreme Court rejected an appeal to reconsider a lower court ruling requiring Apple to allow developers to direct customers to alternative payment methods. The change only applies to iOS and iPad OS apps in the U.S. App Stores, and developers are still required to pay a commission for in-app purchases not made via the App Store. It seems that Apple will continue to maintain tight control over payments, even under the new rules. According to a support page, developers will need approval from Apple before they can take advantage of the new rule, and app makers will only be permitted to notify users about alternative payment methods in specific ways. For example, the company's guidelines to developers stipulate that links can only be shown in an app one time, and only in a single dedicated location. App makers are also prohibited from using in-app pop-ups or mentioning outside payments in their App Store listing. The company is also officially requiring developers to pay it a commission for purchases made outside of its App Store. The commission is set at 12% for developers who are part of its small business program and 27% for larger developers. But As 9 to 5 Mac points out, the company may have some trouble enforcing those terms. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism by Engadget contributors Mariella Moon and Carissa Bell and was produced by Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from Engadget.